Hey friend, welcome to the Badass is the New Black podcast, where our motto is done is better than perfect. I'm Chrissy Chin, here on a mission to help you grow your business online, turn your leads into lifelong customers, and scale to six figures and beyond so you can work less and enjoy and earn a whole lot more. Most importantly, I'm a laid-back wife, a mom, a friend who started as a peds nurse, turned network marketer, and now a serial entrepreneur. This podcast is for ambitious people with an idea, a vision, but no idea how to get there. On this podcast, I'll give actionable steps to keep you moving forward while you learn new business strategies, better systems and processes, marketing, sales, all the things you need to build and scale a blissful business that keeps your pocketbooks growing. Grab a beverage, open up your notes app, and let's get to it. Today, I'm going to talk about a question that comes up quite a bit. I think it comes up especially because I come from a network marketing background, and so I attract a lot of network marketers. And as network marketers, there tend to be two different kinds of network marketers. One that are in network marketing for life. They build their business in network marketing, and that's all that they end up doing. And that's great. And then there's some that use network marketing as their vehicle to launch into entrepreneurship. That was certainly me. That's certainly a lot of other people that I know that find themselves in that position. They get introduced to network marketing and this ability to make money from home, working from wherever and have the freedom and flexibility. And then they realize that they really love this whole idea and concept of being an entrepreneur. Now, it's really hard work, but it's the people who realize that they have the grit and the determination, and they are achievers, and that they have more passions. A lot of multi-passionate entrepreneurs find themselves using network marketing as a vehicle to launch into offering other services or maybe other products even for their business and really expanding. And so the biggest question that I get is, how do I blend these two together? Right? Like, how do I do my network marketing and then launch into something else or do something else? And so I want to address that question on this episode. And it's really important. And you don't have to be a network marketer doing something else. This is certainly for people who aren't even in that space. As a multi-passionate entrepreneur, speaking from myself and to other multi-passionate entrepreneurs, as we continue to learn more and evolve, our businesses will want to as well. And so really getting clear on how to make them work together and how to leverage them together is going to be really beneficial. And it's something that I've worked on for years as my business has evolved from network marketing in the health and wellness space to launching Grow Workspace and building that community and that business, and then starting to expand to the Chrissy Chin brand and KNC Consulting, which is, Claire and I working together to help people not just in Young Living, but people who are in other network marketing companies, coaches who are, entrepreneurs and coaches and health professionals that aren't involved in network marketing to build their businesses online. So I've certainly experienced this evolutionary process of having multiple passions, multiple facets, multiple businesses, and how do we use them synergistically together to build, as opposed to building them kind of like in opposite directions, right? Like if we're putting in the effort for one, how can we blend them and put in the effort so they benefit each other? So I've had people ask me, how do I blend my network marketing business with another business that I have? Or how do I build a brand that supports multiple streams of income? And so that's what we're going to talk about today on this episode. All right, so let's dive right into some examples from students that I've had on kind of these businesses that are intertwined. So I've had people who, of course, the Young Living community, the essential oils community is big because of Grow Workspace. So a lot of students I have are involved in that network marketing company. So I've had people who are working on selling their essential oils, their natural products, and then maybe they're doing Reiki. or something like that. So energetic healing. And they want to know how to blend their oils business and their Reiki business. This is a topic in an area that I have been kind of passionate about for a very long time. Back in, it was June or July of 2017, before we launched Grow Workspace. Didn't even know Grow Workspace was going to be a business at this point in time. I was just focusing on building my network marketing business. I had this idea to launch a group, a Facebook group, or create a Facebook group, because I really wanted a resource that would help different people in different professionals learn how to use the products that I was selling, then the essential oils, the natural products, how they could learn how to use these products for personal benefits, but then also how to bring them in and combine them synergistically with the business that they already have to bring in another revenue stream. So for example, being in essential oils and the health and wellness products, how as a chiropractor, could you incorporate these products and this network marketing model into your chiropractic business to add another revenue stream to your business? How, as a massage therapist, could you incorporate these products in this business model into your business to have them work together and build the two businesses alongside one another? How, as a nurse, could you do that? Or a teacher or a personal trainer? How could you incorporate this business model doing affiliate products and using referral links to promote a product alongside the business that you already had to generate more revenue? So this has been a topic and kind of a passion of mine and a specialty of mine, if you will, for a very long time before I even launched Grow Workspace. And through my own evolutionary process of my business, I've really learned a lot about this topic. And then, of course, like I mentioned before in the very beginning, just the audience that I have and the people that I attract find themselves in this place, in this space where they really want to evolve their brand and their business. And so how do they do that? So again, we're going to dive into that. One of the biggest questions that I get, of course, when people are starting to think about building their business in a professional way is, do I need two different websites for both of the things that I offer? Okay. And I've had a lot of variety of people with different businesses. So it could be really, really like, it's obvious that it's synergistic, like a massage therapist selling essential oils, right? Like that really seems easy to blend the two together. But I've also had people that have said, hey, I've built up my network marketing business and I'm doing that, but I'm also finding that I really love helping people with the tech portion or being a virtual assistant. Like I've learned how to do all of these things and set up these systems in my business, and I want to help others do the same. So now how do I market both of those at the same time and build those businesses together? Okay. And that seems maybe a little bit less obvious in terms of like, essential oils, or like if you do shakes or if you sell makeup, like, makeup and being a virtual assistant, like how do I blend the two together? So I'm going to give you some examples kind of throughout this episode to help you maybe get some clarity. I'm going to play a clip from one of our recent branding coaching calls from Digital Duplication Academy to kind of give you some real life on an example from one of our students, how we worked with her on figuring out how to kind of blend these together and how that shows up. So I'm excited to dive into that. So do I need a website for both? No. You figure out the commonality, or when you're establishing your brand, and this is something we work through in DDA, when you're figuring out your brand, you figure out that umbrella brand that you have. What is the overall message, the overall, thing that you're trying to achieve and how you're trying to serve. And that's kind of your overall. And then where do these other pieces, these other revenue streams fall into place underneath? So let's actually dive in to listen to this clip from one of our branding coaching calls in Digital Duplication Academy, which the doors are open right now. If you're listening to this when this podcast episode has launched, the doors opened yesterday. They are open until April 18th, which we're super excited about. So I want to give you some behind the scenes and have you listen to this clip. I'm just going to put it in here, and then we'll talk about what they talked about and what we talked about. So it's Kate, our student, Sherry, who's one of our branding coaches, and then I'm in there as well. So we'll play it. I'll let you listen to it, and then I'll come back so we can talk more about it and comment on it.
All right. So I need to say that the information that y'all put in, like identifying who we are and who our brand is and who our target audience is, it was transformational for me. So right now, what I have is a Young Living business, and I'm a Young Living Gold. And I kind of went into this thinking that was really like my entire umbrella, so to speak. I'm a homeschooling mom of 8, 6 have graduated. One of our children, number 7, was born with major progressive life-threatening issues. He was in hospice multiple times. That's a big part of my journey that I wasn't paying a lot of attention to. And before all that, we actually had a homeschool business, and I wrote homeschool curriculum. And as I dug through this, I realized that sharing essential oils and toxin-free living, while it's a huge passion, it's almost under an umbrella. When we had our homeschool business, I spent a lot of time just coaching moms, pouring into moms, encouraging them, walking them through their journeys. And that's when I felt like so alive, right? I loved that. And then with our son, I had a blog. It was not a monetized blog. It was just me initially sharing his medical journey. And it grew to me just inviting people into our lives and just sharing anything from my favorite chocolate cake recipe to how we do this thing with homeschooling or this thing with a holiday. And I was getting a couple of million hits a month. It was nothing I advertised. It was just people wanted that. So the great thing is I realized that my bigger brand overall would encompass those things. And my target audience would be something along the lines of women who feel a longing for something different, whether it's a more natural lifestyle, self-sustaining, homeschooling, their parenting looking different, their wellness looking different, but they feel stuck. They feel like there's something that they don't have. It's overwhelming. They can't afford it. They don't have somebody to help them. And I want to help walk them through that. But as I actually began the part of putting my website together, I have enormous clarity and notes on all this, but the only thing that I actually have a product suite for would be the oils and toxin-free living part. So I guess my question is, my heart being the same, I can only offer what I have to offer right now. I will have other things in the product suite coming along and growing in those other parts of the umbrella. But how do I switch from, I don't want to wait until that's like everything is ready. How do I take one that is focused on oils and toxin-free living and then transition that to the bigger picture, so to speak?
How exciting, friend. Thank you for sharing all that. So can you give us a visual of what you want that homepage to look like, even if not everything's set in stone yet? So I land there and I know it's for me because what is it? How does it feel? What does it look like?
What I want that to look like is me sharing hope and empowerment. I've got the freebie, the lead magnet that is a simple start to natural living, that this is doable and it's simple and you can do that. It's something I hear over and over again as I now coach people who are interested in this kind of young living lifestyle, and they feel like, oh, I just was so overwhelmed. I never did it because I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what steps to take. So I really focus all of my education on, like, you can do this, you've got this, we're going to hear the steps we're going to take. So those kinds of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Is one of your questions like a potential, you know that you have the oils and young living? Are you looking for more clarity on some of these other potential avenues?
I feel like I have clarity on them, but I don't know how to then transition. So if people are coming to my website because they are used to just coming and looking for oils and that kind of thing, how do I then transition it to, oh, and we've got resources on all these other areas. Without it, and I really don't believe I'm trying to reach to everybody. I thought very hard about that, but it is an audience, like Christy was just saying, they might come in because they want to know how to raise mealworms for their chickens, and they end up with oils, right? Or they come in for oils and they realize, maybe I can homeschool my kids. Maybe my home life can look different. So I think they're women who are longing for the same kind of package of things, more or less.
Yeah. And I think you nailed it right there. It's for everyone. It's for you to identify what is, if you have these things that seem right now like a little separate, it's like, what is your thread? What is, and for me, that's your why, but what is the thread that goes through all of these things? And so when somebody lands on that first page of their website, they're not going to be confused, because when it comes to homeschooling, or when it comes to natural living, or when it comes to why you're doing your oils, there is this thread that goes through all of them in terms of who this is for, why you were doing it, and what you hope that they get from it. And so for me, Kate, it's just about that messaging for you, because it sounds like you're creating some really great momentum just to go back one step and re-look at that why, so that when you are creating these drop-down menus, when you are creating your content and your copy underneath it, someone feels that synonymous message, no matter what page they land on. And they're going to be drawn to the oils page because they see the value behind it linked to everything else that you're doing. The other piece, and perhaps you're already considering it, but not knowing you that well, I'm like, I really hope that you plan on having some type of paid community for this information. Yes. Okay. You're nodding your head. Perfect.
And paid classes too.
Yeah. Right. Can you guys see that? I'm coming to Kate when I want to learn about like how to raise my chickens in the backyard and add some oils to it and homeschool my children, and know that there's this like community that I can dive into to not feel alone in the process, and to get these valuable resources for someone who's been through it so deeply. Go ahead.
I think what I hear you saying is the homepage doesn't, even though right now the content is primarily oil and toxin-free living focused, the homepage doesn't necessarily need to be. It needs to be about empowering and finding hope in those things that you felt like you were stuck with. And then I don't have to totally transform it. I just am adding to the drop down and adding additional resources.
Yeah, I'll let Chrissy jump in a moment, but the answer is yes. I mean, any of our home pages, especially if you have multiple offerings that you're really clear on, when someone lands there, you're going to want to keep them on that page, because they're going to be like, this is where I'm supposed to be because of this hopeful message, because of this empowerment. And it's like, all your drop downs are about your what. This is your why is your homepage, friends. Like when they land there, they see the pictures, they see the copy. They're like, this is what I've been looking for. These are the answers to my question. Now I'm going to dive in some more. Like, how can I get involved in this? Because this is definitely for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
so encouraging.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited to see kind of your copy as you go through the worksheets, and replay this recording and hear yourself describe who you're talking to. Go through the copywriting worksheets, try and nail that on the headline, subheadline, take a step back and say, if I came to this website and I didn't know anything, or maybe just got a little exposure from you and got here, would that headline and subheadline describe the type of person I'm looking for that will be interested in at least a couple of these things and eventually all of these things? Based on where they are in their journey. And then when it comes to the freebie, we'll focus on the thing that you have to sell right now by getting people set up and putting it into action, grabbing people to get them on your list for the thing you have to sell now, knowing that we're establishing your brand to grow and evolve. And the people you bring in for oils now will also be of the mind where they want to learn this homesteading and this homeschooling. So we want to be very particular in our messaging that you're attracting that type of person, not the city slicker, person who, heard oils was cool, so they want to try oils, right? Like we're going to be very specific about talking to the person that wants this more natural lifestyle, is interested in homesteading, or maybe is a homesteader and wants support with homeschooling or maybe getting into homeschooling, so that we can bring in the person for oils now that's going to want your other things you're going to develop.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay, so before I dive in to comment on all of that, we have an intake form when we have students come into DDA, and I ask them, what are you selling on your website? And 50% of the people that come in are selling more than their network marketing products. So they want to sell books or coaching or programs or courses or memberships. They want to sell more than their network marketing on their website. So that leaves 50% that come in wanting to build their website to get their network marketing business online. And then a percentage of those people, and it's a pretty big percentage of those people, realize going through Digital Duplication Academy that they have more to offer, that they have knowledge and skills that they can monetize. So I love that Kate, really got some clarity through going through the process, through the trainings, through the coaching, got some clarity on her brand, kind of having this, that her network marketing products are just one piece to her brand, and that her past experience that she had from her homeschooling days of writing homeschool curriculum, that she actually had all of this knowledge that she can leverage to monetize and bring in another revenue stream. So I love that she had that clarity. A lot of our students get that clarity through going through the training. So that's really exciting for us to be able to support our students in that way. But you're listening to this episode because maybe you've already reached that sense of clarity, that you have something else that you want to incorporate. So I want to also highlight, and maybe you'll have to go back and listen to that 9-minute clip that I put in here. But I love what Sherry said about this common thread. And so thinking about your brand and your business and multiple businesses maybe that you have that you're trying to blend together, what is that common thread that is moving through all of the pieces? Okay. So for Kate, this common thread of wellness, of, wanting to empower, the people that she brings in. So it's this common thread of, she's got these different avenues. She's got her natural products, and then she's got her homeschooling. So what that common thread for her was being able to bring in that we're more natural minded and doing things maybe a little bit more unconventional to the days right now, kind of diving into her why and why this was happening through. And she did share a little bit on the clip about her family and what she was going through, and that she was using all of this to support her family. And that was a big part of her why. So thinking about your why are you doing both of the things that you're doing, or three of the things that you're doing, and finding this common thread. And I also like to think about it as, who's your common audience for there? So you heard me talk about that a bit in the coaching call, which was, who's the common audience? It's the person who's going to want the essential oils, and they're going to want the homeschooling, and they're going to want the homesteading. So how can we tailor the message on the website to attract that person that is like that? So in your business, who is the common person the common audience that's going to want all of the things that you have to offer? So for example, and then basically, like with your products, there's a lot of ways that you can market your products, because likely a lot of people can use them. If it's makeup, any, woman or man that wears makeup can use your products. If it's hair products, anyone could use your products. If it's essential oils, anyone can use your products. But again, if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, which is why we work on establishing a target audience. But where can you find the commonality between the other thing that you're doing, that you're teaching, or the skills that you're using, and find that commonality piece between your affiliate products? So for example, for my audience, attracting entrepreneurs, health professionals, network marketers, and teaching you how to build a brand and build a website and create an audience and sell your products and services. if I'm selling essential oils as well, how will I talk about those products in a way that my audience over here can relate to it? So I'm going to talk about using essential oils to help support you in your business ventures. So as creators, we need to have a creative mind. We need to be able to focus when we have to sit down and maybe create content. So I would talk about using oils to create more focus, create more clarity, or maybe to help you get more sleep so that you can wake up really rested to be able to get a lot more done and be more productive in your business. Right? So my examples are relating to the audience that I'm speaking to with the other part of my business or other businesses to make it relevant and relatable. Or, this is an example I use in DDA a lot with the students is if I were going to set up a freebie funnel for, essential oils, that being the product, I would set one up that has to do with, like a stress-free launch, right? Because my audience over here in this pocket is trying to build a business. They're launching courses and memberships or, whatever, or launching a new aspect of their brand. And so that is something that they're dealing with, the stress of that. And so being able to offer them support from these products in that scenario would be relevant to them. It would be something that they would want. It would be something that they would say, oh, I need that. So if I brought them in through my product suite for Digital Duplication Academy, if I brought you in that way, and then you're working on a launch and I said, hey, here are my favorite products to decrease stress during launch or to make a launch stress-free, that would resonate with you and you'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm interested in those products. So the freebie would be, 3 must-haves to create a stress-free launch, right? Like, doesn't that sound amazing? And then I would share my 3 strategies for creating that stress-free launch. And one of them might be the products that I use myself and recommend. So that common thread, that common audience is the entrepreneur who is building and expanding their business and needing support with those tasks. Does that make sense? Here's another example. One of my students from a long time, she's one of my private clients as well. She has a literacy business and she has her essential oils business through network marketing. And so she is kind of an exception when people say, do I need a website for both? I try and say, no, let's figure out how we can blend the two so that we can be speaking to that person and then just having some different offerings that speak to, hey, if you're interested in wellness, like click on the wellness tab, right? But she is someone who really wanted 2 different websites. She didn't want anything to get mixed up, didn't want the wrong email going to a certain list because of the nature of one of her lists. And so she has 2 different websites. However, that doesn't mean we can't kind of cross-pollinate between these 2 sites and be able to leverage the audience that she's building over here in her literacy business with the business that she has with her essential oils. Okay. So she, in her literacy business, one of her ideal customers are parents who need support teaching their kids how to read and how to create better readers. Okay. So they have kids that are struggling with reading. So that's just one little subset. She works with teachers and administrators and all of that, but the parents who want to have better readers. So her literacy site is helping them with teaching them strategies to develop better readers, okay, for their kids. But she uses the oils with her own kids and would recommend to her community that there are these oils that can help create focus, help with concentration, help get a good night's rest, right? Like if someone has really hyper children and they need something to calm their children down before they sit down and read, then there are oils that can help calm the kids down. So she would recommend that. Hey, before a reading session, let's put some lavender in the diffuser and let's diffuse that to help calm their nerves. Or confidence. Confidence can be a big issue with kids with reading. And so there's an oils blend that she could use, Kid Power or whatever, a blend, a combination of oils that she could recommend to say, this is going to help with courage and confidence. If your child is struggling with confidence in reading, let's apply those oils before the reading session or during, right before you get started to help those products assist your child with reading. It makes sense. It's relatable. Right? So thinking about how we can bring that other product in that the audience over here can relate to and want, as opposed to talking about using oils with your pets over here, and then trying to pitch that to the audience of parents who are helping their kids with reading. Like, it's very disconnected. They're going to be like, great, like I don't have a dog. Okay. But we know they have a child that is struggling with reading. How can we pitch and promote our products to make them want to learn more and want to get those products? Right. Or she's got her essential oils community. And there's lots of parents in there. Right. And lots of parents who, their kids at a certain age need support reading. I was one of those parents. I loved working with her because I was homeschooling my first grader at the time, which I didn't realize that that's literally the age they have to learn how to read. I was like, man, I picked the wrong year to be homeschooling. But it was during the pandemic. And so that was the decision that we made. And so I was able to, I'm oily, I'm, natural granola. Like I try and do all these natural methods, and working with her, I learned these strategies, these other strategies to apply to my child. So she can promote. Not every single one of her oils people is going to be interested in the resources to help their kids learn how to read better, but there will be a subset of people, and that's okay. Right? It doesn't have to be 100% universal to both sides. Okay. She could bring in, excuse me, and talking about this product suite, I mentioned it. I talked about it in the training that I played you the clip from beforehand, this product suite of being able to have clarity on the different things that you have to offer and knowing kind of where you bring your people in. Do you bring them in the beginning with this one offer, and then it's very clear as to what they move to next? Your products are going to be a part of that product suite, your network marketing products, or any other affiliate products that you have. I have, not to go off on a tangent, but on my website, there's a lot of technological or software programs that I use in my business, calendar programs or webinar replay programs, various things, Canva, things like that I use in my business that I also promote. Right. And so I have a whole page, tools, that's labeled tools, dedicated to my referral links. Not all of them are referral links, but these are the things that I recommend. And so if I have a referral link for it, 100%, I'm going to put that in there. That's another revenue stream, right? So how do we, so she could bring people in through her oils community and then say, hey, if you're a parent that has a child in this range and they're learning how to read and they're struggling reading, I have some great resources over here that I also do. This is also something I'm passionate about. And then she can have the parents that come in specifically through reading, find her through her reading, blogs or videos or word of mouth. And then they come in for the reading and they then see, oh, she has these products that could also help us and assist with these other strategies that she teaches. Okay. So do you see how we're blending the two together? We're finding that commonality. That thread is how Sherry described it in that little clip that I played, that common thread between them to bring them together. Okay. So sit and think about that. Another thing that I want to just reiterate and make sure is really clear. And I mentioned this it was at the end of the recording when Kate was talking about how do I promote? I don't have everything built out yet. So how do I do that now? And so these are things that we work on inside DDA. As you can see, the clip that I played, showing you exactly how we work through. It's a group program but we have these coaching calls and we have a community where we get to dive into your business and talk about your what you're doing, whether it's just one thing that you're selling, or you've realized, oh my gosh, I have all of this knowledge or this skill and I could monetize that and I could coach someone. We had another student recently who said, I came into this really just trying to build my website for my network marketing products. And then I realized that I was providing this sort of life coaching to people in my community. And I realized that I could really be getting paid for this to support these people. And I love that she had that clarity, because oftentimes we are doing things for free that we could do and get paid for. And so she was able to kind of realize and have this clarity. Oh my gosh, I can incorporate this into my website. And the people that I'm bringing in that I've written my website for this natural living are people that I would love to continue to coach on a, in a life coaching basis to help them with, everything. Her motto is like a little less toxic and a little more holy. So being able to be that support to them and coach them in a lot of different areas in their life, spiritually and physically, is something that she loved. And now she's able to offer, that service. And so we worked with her. She needed clarity on how do I like Kate, I have this product I can sell right now. How do I start bringing in people? And so we worked with her on a strategy to create some areas in her website where she could start to build a wait list for these people, so that that if people are coming to her site and they are interested in this, she can start collecting their names. So when it launches, she already has people that are interested, right? There's so much strategy and intention behind everything that we do, or there should be. So if you haven't, built a website at all, or you've done one and there just wasn't that much intention and strategy behind it, you're kind of just like, threw paint on the wall and we're like, okay, that looks great. Let's just go with that. It's time to invest in, getting some coaching for this process. So we launched Digital Duplication Academy this week for a broader audience. We've done this program for our Grow Workspace community and have had a lot of people go through it and find amazing transformations. As you heard Kate say, she said those initial trainings on branding and identifying target audience were transformational for her. And so we are so excited to be able to open up this program beyond our Grow Workspace community and open it up to you, the people that I've been serving, through this podcast for a few years now. So it's really exciting to open this up to you and to be able to support you in your business in this capacity. So if you did not attend the masterclass that I held on Tuesday night, I'll leave the link here. You can go ahead and enter your name and your email to get that replay if you kind of missed that. So we'll leave that open for a little bit, and then 100% explore Digital Duplication Academy. And you'll see we'll again include the link of everything that it includes, but you witnessed a portion of one of the coaching calls. So throughout you get lifetime access to the trainings that literally walk you through step by step how to do this, teach you how to write the copy so that you can be speaking to your ideal customer, right? And especially if you're blending two businesses, this is even, equally as important. I'm not going to say it's more important. The copy is so important. The design is so important. All of it together is so important to be able to have a really successful business. But in addition to all of the training and the training you get for a lifetime, we offer coaching for a period of time. So 8 weeks of coaching. If you open up the first email, you get an extra week. So 9 weeks of coaching included in that. And at this time there's 6 coaches. So there's me in there. There's Claire, my sister Claire, who, if you listened to last week's episode, you heard from her, lead designer. She's amazing. We have another designer, We have 2 professional copywriters that are there to help support. So we're teaching you how to write the copy, but then you get to submit your copy for review from professional copywriters. You get to come up with your brand guide, your design through us teaching you how to do that, and then share it with the designers and say, does this look good? Or I'm really struggling with my little logo. Can you guys help me like finesse this or tweak this? Like something's not fitting. The branding coach, we have Sherry right now as branding coach, or myself doing branding, helping you get clarity on who it is that you're serving and everything that you have to offer, and helping you discover, your why a little bit deeper and the thread that goes through everything so you can present that in a way that is effective. Okay. So I'm going to wrap that up for this episode. Hopefully you got some clarity on, if you have multiple things that you're trying to promote, how you can blend them together and work together instead of, 2 businesses going in opposite directions. Let's have 2 businesses that end up crossing each other in the middle, right? Or basically are side by side growing together. So that is my goal for you. That is what I love helping people with, expanding and evolving their brand. I mean, my business has evolved tremendously over the last 10 years from what I started doing, and, changed courses and, went the other way. And so I have certainly lived through a lot of experience and have figured out how to troubleshoot and navigate. And so I want to help you avoid, 3 years of trying to figure it out by trial and error, and help you just reach that clarity so much quicker so that you can generate success so much quicker. So thank you. I appreciate you for tuning in and for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, share with me below, what is your business? What are you selling? Who is your audience? And if you feel like you need a little bit more clarity on this, then you need to come into Digital Duplication Academy. If you've built a website and you didn't have a professional copywriter write it, or you know nothing about copywriting or design, you need to be a part of Digital Duplication Academy. So whether you've started one or you're just starting, we are here to support you. We are here to help you. We've got an entire team behind the scenes that's going to support you. So we've just had a lot of amazing transformations from students, and I hope that you can be that next transformation. So if you have any questions, reach out. The doors are only open until the 18th. So if you're listening to this in real time, that'll be Monday night at midnight. If you're listening to this in the future, I'm sure there's a wait list you can get on, and we'll put that link below. But I'm excited to see you guys in there and get started right away. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Without you listening, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, what I love to do. So I'm so glad you're here and can't wait to connect further. I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you got some value out of this episode, I would love some support. And the best way to do that, so I can keep showering you with loads of actionable tips, is to hit that subscribe button. Leave a review or a comment if you're on YouTube, and share this podcast with a friend. And when you share it with a friend on social, please tag me so I can reshare your share in my stories. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out. I appreciate the heck out of you for showing up. And now it's time for you to take imperfect action so you can work less and enjoy and earn a whole lot more.